The Orbital Guards, Episode 9, Hyperactivity and the Big Scoops. Our expansion into the cosmos forces us as a species to tackle some very big issues. Yes, there is wonderful energy that's passing through the Milky Way galaxy at the moment, but as we approach 2050, much work will need to continue if we're going to thrive into the 22nd century. The big scoops are issues that 38-year-old Brigade and her generation will be asked to solve. These are issues such as water scarcity, cloning, slavery, poverty, and nutrition. Issues that are fueled by artificial intelligence and robotics that have become sentient. The natural extension of our commercial spaceflight operations and infrastructure transitions are an energized look back at ourselves and our only known home. The mentality embraced is not Team Space or Team Ocean. It's more Team Earth, Moon, Mars, and beyond. And it's definitely Team Human. Hip-hop. 5 years is a blink. 30 years is a blink depending on your point of view. Things are happening quite fast now. When I calibrate my reality hopper, I go to my inception date of October 1st, 2003 in Tokyo, Japan. The wise and noble often say that there is no perfect, there is only capable. Some argue the expectation of perfect every time is impossible. In fact, it is not. Secrecy in a free and open society is not repugnant. President Kennedy was wrong about this. It is in fact necessary, and human beings are able to keep secrets. At the O, life is good. In fact, it's really good. But sometimes the music stops, and that meant that everything stopped. The whales would stop breaching, the dolphins would stop speaking, and the waters would become eerily calm. The only sounds now were generated by the water reaching the shore and your own thoughts. When the music stops at the O, everybody knew why. Everyone directs their attention over to the cabanas. And sure enough, there would be a frog there with their hands on the music system. When the music at the O stops, it means that volunteers will be needed for an extremely hostile and dangerous rescue. It means your chances of survival are significantly reduced. It means there is a non-safe rescue ahead. It means despite all the efforts, there are numerous unknown unknowns. The fact that these events happen in secrecy is directly correlated to operational proficiency within the overall mission objectives. Perfect every time meant our learning curve was almost vertical. Sometimes things would get messy, and sometimes things would get much worse. Our job was to paint inside the lines, but we were painting with a fire hose. Accidents do happen, regardless of how much training or preparation is applied. Hip-hop rules at Cove, but every now and then you'd pass a group of people that would be listening to jazz music. OGs were asked from day one to make beautiful music together, but we had to do our thing between the notes. Jazz somehow brought clarity to the chaos. At the O, when the music stops, the frogs have an interesting problem. Unless you're expecting a child, every single OG would volunteer. And many more would, but the timing of these types of announcements was never certain. The problem leads to certain facial expressions and body language amongst the frogs, and in time, someone would designate a knowledge tree to assign a team. After this, the music would start up again, and usually a whale breaches the water to break the tension. To XYZ Brigade, she'll be able to do in less than 15 minutes what took her parents well over 15 hours to achieve. There are safer, faster options to traverse our planet than troposphere flights. Things are definitely changing. The planet is quickly being rewired, but to the human experience, nothing is really changing. Brigade and her peers will still forget things when they have a super important meeting in a far-off location. Remember, people still ride horses, so chill out. To her, electric transportation was the battle, and autonomy was the overall war. Yes, the office would have her teletethered, but hyperactivity has led to hyperproduction and hypercreativity. Kind of makes sense, I guess. To her, a 4-day work week was the norm. Human beings are proven to be more productive when we are rested and recognized. Most people have their very best ideas anywhere but a static table, chair, or conference room environment. Most people are visual learners who think best in motion. How many times have you had a really great idea while you're in the shower or in the pool, while driving, while being out in nature going for a run, or being with your family or loved ones over the holidays or on the weekend? And if you're truly passionate about what you do, those 3 days off make your 4 operational days much more productive. When you apply this to the number of employees that you're actually working with, you can see how it changes everything pretty quickly, and just in time. Think back to General Electric and Jack Welch. Plastics, plastics, plastics. A revolutionary era was approaching. A certainty that would move mountains and change the world. The wave of good times is exactly what's happening right now. As they say in Australia, the space business is good, and the universe is expanding. Ironically, our current renaissance is devoid of plastics. It's not gone entirely, but it does take a beating worse than cable TV. To help navigate this epoch with a smile, it's wise to set your compass on certain regions. Our current quantum leap is nothing new. A breakthrough in communication is being fueled by a sea change in energy supported by game-changing logistics. But now what? Before you click that red Corvette, breathe through your nose and stop. Hit the surf and get sandy, Nancy. This is real. Clear your mind and breathe. Set your as it happens Google alerts to space debris, water, and Earth-Moon economy. There, the tsunami can be seen right now. And remember, an epoch is surfable.